and kind of managing the outside lines. There was some lane.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Outcast Independent League. They finished their series last week, and we are back this week to determine who is the king of the SR8s. With us in the booth is Mason Neal and Michael. How are you guys doing tonight?
Great, buddy.
Well, great.
All right, now Mason, we were talking a few moments ago. You guys had a little bit of a practice race earlier, and not sure if this is going to be kind of a crapshoot tonight.
Yeah, the outside lines are going to be fun to watch. You pay attention to that. Those outside lines are going to be interesting to manage because that's kind of where you can make your runs. But sometimes it's hard to tell if you're clear or not if you switch lanes because the cars are right-hand drive, so it's hard to see the right side or left side of the cockpit depending on what you have your field of view set on.
That is an interesting. I've noticed that at this track, especially at this track, because it's so wide and the way you sit in the car, it's really hard to tell. Michael, are you running into the same problems, or you think you're just going to run away with it tonight?
Nah, I kind of usually hang out in the back to try to get through all the wrecks to start with. That's been my motto. And with all the new guys racing tonight, I'm thinking there's going to be a few of them.
So do we allow driving below the line now?
No, Jerry. Nope.
Did you, Doug?
No, sorry, we were picking up a little radio chatter there. I had to take care of that right quick. Sorry about that. So, now, who's your pick for tonight? Obviously, are you thinking you're going to be the one surviving and making it to the front at the end, Michael?
That's my plan, but I'd say the odds-on favorite are probably Mason, Norman Chan, maybe Gerald Poole.
Mason, you feel like you've got something for these guys?
I do. I'd like to be up there at the end of the night. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Gerald and Norm and Tom are hard to beat, and then occasionally Michael's up there too. So Michael make some noise too. So that'll be interesting to watch.
Just as long as Gerald Poole does not win another race by .001 seconds like he did last weekend. That was definitely fun. You guys are a great bunch of guys to race with, that is for sure.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for broadcasting.
Not a problem. We will look forward to talking to you guys some more throughout the night.
Thank you.
All right, that was Mason, Neal, and Michael Whiting. Now, as I mentioned, we are in the Radical SR8s tonight. We are at Michigan International Raceway. Let's talk about some of the race information we're going to have. Looks like 2 heats, 18 cars will advance into the feature. It looks like everybody as of right now that joined is going to make it to the feature. That is a plus for these guys. Additionally, a little something different. They do have 3 faster pairs. They have we're going to have 2 10-lap heats in the 35-lap feature. The feature is going to have 3 faster pairs and 2 green-white checkers. This track is a 2-mile D-shaped oval with 18-degree turns, a 12-degree front straightaway, and a 5-degree backstretch. And I can tell you, in these 35 laps, tires are really not going to come into play. It's going to be the only reason these guys pit in the feature is going to end up being if they're in an accident and they have to use one of those faster pairs. Now, as I said, they finished the season out last week. It was a heck of a season. They finished out at Dover and then Talladega, but they just have not settled who the king of the SR8s are. And as they finish practice, get ready to qualify for that heat, that first heat, we're going to get to find out just exactly who it's going to be. And it looks like they're skipping qualifying tonight. They're going straight into Heat 1. So let's see who lines up for Heat 1, and let's get a good look at these guys. As they pull out, we would normally have qualifying to help us break down who is who and where and whatnot, but we're kicking this off with a bang tonight. Random draw on the starting line. So as they come out of pit road, we'll start going through what the starting order is. It looks like we will just have the 2 heats, though, based on the number of people that are in the race tonight. Again, these heats are 10 laps around this 2-mile oval. I do want to give these guys a shout out. This week, they over the last couple of weeks, they've been raising money for charity, and despite the hard times everybody's going through, these guys did not give up. They raised over $600 for autism awareness and the Action Network, which helps suicide prevention for veterans. So huge shout out for both of these charities getting those funds. These guys, they managed to do that between the 14 different series that they have. And a lot of these guys driving all of those series every week. And huge thanks to them. If you know a veteran, you know what a struggle some of them have if they've been in combat. And the Action Network is a great program. And, of course, the autism awareness charities, they are a huge help to kids with autism. They're making big strides all day, every day. So big shout out to these guys that are out here on the track. Definitely the kings of having big hearts. However, right now it is all about who is going to be the king of the SR8s. As they come down, we'll get to see them cross the start-finish line. And I promise you folks, where they start is not going to be where they finish. Now, we've seen a lot of times in these SR8s where they're stuck together drafting, but this is a track that these SR8s can really let it hang out. They can go all over the place, make some incredible moves, some incredible passes, and do some really incredible things. As the pace car drops off, we're going to lead them down. Heat number 1 is underway. Here they go. Green flag is in the air. Looks like Christopher Rawlings is going to take the lead. Gerald Thanos Poole snapped his fingers. Hopefully he'll won't snap the whole field away so we can see a full field of drivers. We've got Lance Sponberg, James Belair, Danny Chandler, Christopher Stanbridge, Doug McLaughlin, and Tom Land out on the track tonight. And we do have some new drivers, not what we're used to seeing on Wednesday nights. This is just a special race that they came up with to determine the king of the SR8s, and everybody between the 14 divisions was invited, so definitely got some interesting, going to have some interesting racing out here. We're going to see a lot of different names towards the front, but as we complete lap 1, it looks like James Belair took the lead on that first lap. Just barely got that lead. Gerald Thanos Poole falls back into 4th. Chris Stanbridge is still up in 3rd. Pretty much the same place they started, but the exit of turn 2 is where we're going to see a lot of excitement tonight. These guys will come off that turn. The SR8s have the downforce to stick to the bottom. Heck, they have the downforce to drive upside down. But they get that momentum, they come off that turn 2, and they can swing out a little bit wide. And as we heard them talk about in the pre-race interviews, they can swing out wide, and they can definitely carry some momentum out. If they've got some drafting help, they can get up and make some moves. Looks like Lance Sponberg is having some difficulty. He is currently showing us 2 laps down. Not sure what happened there. We'll try and find out here in a little bit. But we still have, it looks like 6 cars in the lead pack, and it looks like Doug McLaughlin has fallen back about 6 seconds. So hopefully we'll get, he'll be able to catch back up. And we see him going 3 wide through turn 2 already, trying to make some moves. They have just 10 laps to set their qualifying positions for the feature race. So it is going to be a battle on track every second tonight. As they complete lap 4, heat 1, these should see most of these guys move forward into the feature. As we're looking at 4 wide coming into turn 1, we got one that backed out of it wisely. That was awfully close, but we're still 3 wide with one just shooting up the middle. Still got Christopher Rawlings on the bottom. James Belair to the outside, but it looks like James is getting some momentum from a little bit of a push from behind. James drifts up a little bit in turn 4. And there's Gerald Thanos Poole in the blue car on the bottom. He is trying to just draft Christopher around and get up there. I can tell you I have raced with Gerald a couple times on plate tracks and on drafting tracks like the Coca-Cola Super Speedway, and I can tell you that this man knows how to draft. He is definitely going to be one to watch tonight. Raced him at both Daytona and at Coca-Cola last weekend, and he is definitely a force to be reckoned with on these high-speed drafting tracks or in these high-speed drafting situations. Now, these little radicals, they don't go as fast as a Cup car, and they have a lot of downforce, but they are super light, just 1,435 pounds in their race configuration and 380 horsepower. So that is a big power to weight ratio, and they're getting really dicey. Christopher is loving seeing this. It looks like Gerald Poole is falling off the back just a little bit as Chris Stanbridge is starting to move up in the number 23. As they come through turn 1 and 2, we are 3 wide yet again. Coming out of turn 2, we will probably see most of the passes in the race happen out of turn 2, as it looks like Christopher Rawlings gets a bit of a run, but it's Tom Land there on the outside. We saw Tom Land at Daytona earlier in the season. He was a dominant force in the SR8 on a draft track like that, and there is some bumping. And here comes Gerald Poole back to the inside. These cars do punch a huge hole in the air. 4 laps to go in heat 1. Chris Stanbridge promised me oxygen a couple weeks ago. That has not happened yet, but we'll take a deep breath and keep going as we are 3 wide, 2 deep all the way around the track. Looks like that middle line might have a little bit of an advantage. These cars do have a lot of side draft, and that's giving Christopher Rawlings and James Belair back there a bit of an advantage. As they come through 3 and 4, they are not separating at all. These front 6 cars are side by side, nose to tail. These guys are just trying to find a way to get to the front, but it's currently James Belair was scored leading that last lap in that blue and white car. And as they come out of turn 2, it looks like James Belair may get another run. Will he be able to drop down? Oh, we've got one coming to the outside. That is a power move. Looks like it's Chris Stanbridge. That was Chris Stanbridge to the outside. Could not keep the... He had quite a bit of momentum there, but couldn't keep it. Falls back to the back. And it looks like that 0-1 of Christopher Rawlings, he's led quite a few laps right there in the middle. That side draft, even without the drafting help from behind, he is managing to pull his way back up. As we've seen coming out of turn 4, just about every time he manages to come across that start-finish line just a nose ahead of Tom Land and Christopher Rawlings. Oh, caution is out. Big wreck going into turn 3. Let's take another look at that. Alright, let's take another look at this. It looks like Gerald Poole's sitting back there. We see him weaving about, everybody weaving about. Looks like we had a car come down just a hair, got bumped down into Gerald Poole, and everybody went everywhere. And there is Gerald Poole. We'll see where he is scored when it comes across the start-finish line. It looks like Tom Land is on pit road, but looks like James Belair currently being scored in first place. We'll see what the scoring looks like. We've got several of them coming to pit road for repairs. There is Gerald Danos Poole. Looks like Danny Chandler is also on pit road. That is the 01 of Christopher Rawlings leading them down. Let's go look and see. Looks like James Belair is being scored on the lead lap. Or being the leader, excuse me. And definitely stick around, because while this 10 laps has been wild and the next 10 laps will be wild, the 35 lap feature coming up will be extremely wild. As they pace around, looks like everybody's got their fast repairs. Now here's the interesting thing. They've only been out there for about 7 laps. They've got 3 laps to go when they come to the restart. And we've got, looks like about 4 cars out there that got fresh tires. Now only 9 laps on these tires should not make a bit of difference. But we'll see if that number 91 back there, that is Tom Land. He just got repairs. He's the last one out of the pit road. He got repairs. Or the 01 of Christopher Rawlings, who looks like they both got full repairs and 4 tires. Looks like Christopher Rawlings might be having another problem. We'll have to find out what is going on there. Looks like it's going to be 1 to green for heat 1. Looks like we will possibly finish. Yep, it will be a green-white checkered. Thought they might be able to pull off a finishing under. Here they come down the back straightaway. Waiting for the pace car to drop off. Looks like they will have just the 2 laps remaining, and then we'll go into heat 2. And Merry Christmas to you too, Becky Flowers. Thanks for dropping into the chat tonight and watching the race. And pace car is starting to duck low. Looks like they fixed some of the pace car issues we've seen in recent weeks. James Belair will lead them down to the restart. Green flag is out, and we've got a wreck on the front straightaway. Got a wreck on the restart. Let's see if we can take a look and see what happened here. Looks like we had one car just try and get past Gerald Thanos Poole. and didn't get fully clear, got in the back and turned him around. And pace car is back out. We will have another green-white checkered. Looks like we've got a pretty banged up, I believe that is Tom Land that the pace car just drove through. That is Tom Land in the number 91 car. Looks like he has some wing damage, and he should probably still has a fast repair. We might see him duck down pit road. Looks like Christopher Stanbridge and Doug McLaughlin, excuse me, both are the only two out there on their original set of tires. Have not pitted yet. So we'll see. Let's go take a look and see if Chris decides to pit. Nope, that's him currently sitting up front. Looks like we've got James Belair and Thanos on pit road. Gerald Thanos Pool. It's nice to see they kept their nicknames for the race tonight, except for the fact that Chris Stanbridge is not running as Ironman tonight. That's a little disappointing. Have to have a little talk with Chris about that after the race. And as we've mentioned in the weeks past, these guys do have about 14 different series currently going on under the Outcast Independent League group. They do have and will have some openings for some of their series coming up. They are looking for not just the fastest drivers, but they are looking for some clean drivers, some good drivers, It's all about attitude and having a good group of friends to run with. That's what these guys are all about. So look forward to seeing them growing. And I can tell you from personal experience running with them last week that, or last Saturday on the Super Speedway series, that it is a blast running with these guys. They are hilarious to race with. And looks like we may be ending the heat number 1 under caution. So we'll see who comes across scored in the lead. I do believe looks like Chris Stanbridge is up there. He was not a lap down. He's currently being scored in 4th, but we will see Tom Land is right behind him, currently showing in 2nd. And we've got several cars stopped up here. It looks like after the previous incidents. No, we will get another green-white checkered in. They were holding up to get everybody lined back up correctly. So we will see how this plays out now, and we'll see if they should be doing a single file restart this time around as well. Looks like James Belair is still scored, being in the lead in the number 90 car. But we'll see what happens when they come across. The scoring might have got a little wonky there for a second. As currently at the front of the pack, it looks like leading the pack is Doug McLaughlin. Should see the pace car duck off here any second as they come through 3 and 4. Hopefully we'll get 2 laps under green-white checkered. This will be the final attempt at a green-white checkered. And then we will go to heat number 2 to see what kind of madness comes out there. As Doug McLaughlin leads them down, green flag is in the air. He is going to lead them. Looks like they delayed the caution. Looks like we are going to finish the race right there. They called off the second green-white checkered. So your finish for Heat 1 is Doug McLaughlin, Chris Stanbridge, Danny Chandler, Tom Land, Gerald Thanos Poole did not snap everybody out of existence. Thank you. James Belair, Christopher Rawlings, and Lance Sponberg. So we'll see how these guys line up when we get into the feature race here in just a few minutes. But for now, we'll wait for these guys to hit pit road, and then we will get started with heat number 2. And before we forget, we definitely need to give a shout out to Motorwear International, one of our sponsors for this evening, as well as Rocket Racing Setups. Thank them for sponsoring some of the different divisions in the league. And as we start to line up for heat number 2, and there we have it. It looks like the number 44 is going to be on the pole. That's going to be Michael Whiting. We'll see if they can have a little bit more exciting but less caution-y race for their heat, so we can get to the feature and see these guys get really down to business. As we're waiting for everybody to get out on the pit road, looking at some of these paint jobs, these are new for this week, so this will be definitely get to see some new cars out here. And this will be their final race until after the holidays. As we mentioned earlier, this was just a fun race. They were gonna settle once and for all who the king of the SR8s is. Back there in the blue and yellow, that is Michael Graynolds. And of course, we've got Superman there. The car there on the outside, the tie-dye stripes, I meant to ask him what he called that paint job. That is, of course, Mason Neal in the 49. And like I said, we have a variety of new paint jobs this evening. And a variety of guys that run in the other series we don't usually see racing here with these SR8s. So this will be definitely an exciting night. Will we see the regular SR8, the advanced SR8 guys take home the win in the feature? Or will it be one of these other guys, maybe one of the dirt guys or the road guys? As pace car drops low, gets ready to drop off, the number 44 of Mike Whiting will be leading him down to green. Mason Neal to the outside. Green flag is in the air. They are off. Look like Mason got a little bit of a run there. Looks like Brian Mansfield is in the 11. Michael Graynolds, of course, in the 44. Superman Norman Chan back there in the Superman car, already looking to the high side, trying to make a pass. And we know Superman has no problem getting to the front. Looks like he's going to be working with Michael Graynolds there a little bit. And we've got one ducking below, the number 11. That is Brian Mansfield. He has got his left sides under the yellow, just trying to find a little bit of a gap there. Looks like Superman Norman Chan might have gotten hung out to the outside, and he looks like he's trying to use that side draft to advance just a little bit. We'll see if he can get back up there. And of course, in the number 5, as always, there is Doug Thomas. And it looks like Doug is sporting a new paint job this evening as well. We got some of the usuals and some new paint jobs, because we've got some of the usuals and some new drivers. Mason Neal obviously paid attention during the first heat, trying to get that side draft going right there in the middle. We saw a lot of laps where, oh, Superman Norman Chan is already moving up. He is trying to make it 3 wide coming through 1 and 2. Looks like he's got Michael Reynolds back there to give him a hand. They do go 3 wide coming down the back straightaway. It is Mason Neal. He's got that nose out front. Will he be able to hold on? Put that nose out front at the start-finish line. Each lap doesn't matter, but they are practicing each lap to make sure they can get where they need to be on that last lap. There is the 007 of James Belair. Looks like he might be having some difficulties tonight. I'm sorry, Edward Belair. In that 007, it's Belair, Edward Belair. Mason Neal still holding strong there in the middle line. Superman Norman Chant cannot get a run there to the outside yet. Looks like the help he was getting from Michael Reynolds dropped back into that middle line. Michael's trying to be patient about it. And looks like Norman Chan just barely squeezes into the gap there. Trying to get that little bit of draft. We saw him doing this at Indy. They bump a little bit coming through the front straightaway. We saw Superman do this a lot back at Indy. He was side by side on the outside. He would side draft and get his nose out in front at the start-finish line when it mattered. Will he be able to get that nose out front when it matters tonight? It looks like, based on the number of cars that we have here tonight, there's 8 in the first heat, 8 in this heat. So we might see all 16 cars in the finale, in the big feature. 35 laps around here. And even at 35 laps, they will still not need tires. They will still not need fuel. Thomas Myers, yes, this is insanely fun. And these guys do an amazing job in these cars. Especially at a track like this where you've got the space to go 3 and 4 wide. We saw them at Daytona across the finish line 4 wide. We have expected to see Talladega 5 wide last week, but we didn't. We saw Indy several cars wide and a couple upside down. Definitely, if you guys are watching, like and share, and we've still got a bit of racing to go as we're halfway through this heat. We've still got the feature coming up, so share it out into... Oh, we've got an accident on the front straightaway. Looks like we might stay green. They got below the line. Just looks like Michael Reynolds and the 5 car got together. They are both back on track, and we've got one spinning up into the wall there. Looks like that was the 5 car as well. 4 laps to go. We are under caution. Chris Stanbridge is dropping in the chat saying that was a weird heat. This has definitely been an interesting couple of heats tonight. As Chris mentioned, it has been a little bit crazy would be the best way to put it. We have about 5-10 laps, or 5 to 7 laps of good clean flag 3 wide race, green flag 3 wide racing, and then suddenly insanity breaks out. as they come around. They've got 4 laps to go. Remember, we do have a couple of green-white checkers if they need them. And you will note that the cars do bounce around a little bit while they punch a big hole in the air, and they have a ton of downforce. They are so light that they do move around a lot in the draft. They're extremely stable at speed, but when the draft and the air is moving around, it can cause the car behind. The front car can actually move around, cause the car behind to move around, and as we saw last week at Dover, the car in the back can pull up underneath the rear wing and cause the car in the front to get a little bit loose. That was the first time we've actually seen that in these cars. It looks like the number 5 and 45 both on pit road. That's Doug Thomas and Michael Graynolds both on pit road from their incident. They are getting repairs. The question is, we saw him moving up very rapidly earlier, but Superman Norman Chan, he is always up front at the end. Can he fly to the front? Will his car be faster than a speeding bullet tonight? I guarantee you, if he gets up front in the feature tonight, everybody's going to have a very difficult time getting past him. But let's not count out Iron Man. Although, Chris, I do have to say you changed your name back, and little sad about that. I was enjoying cheering on Iron Man. Currently 4 laps to go in heat number 2. And almost immediately after heat number 2, looks like we'll be moving to the feature. I don't believe they'll need the consolation race tonight. That is the 44 of Michael Whiting. We talked to him before the race, as well as Mason Neal, being followed by the 11 of Brian Mansfield. Then Superman Norman Chan. Kind of hard to miss which one is the Superman car. We have the 07 back there of Matt Stewart. Had the pleasure of watching him race yet, but we've got him tonight. We also have the 5 of Doug Thomas back there in that orange car, and Michael Graynolds in the 45. After their incident, they are back on track, fast repairs in place, possibly new tires. But it is the 44 of Michael Whiting with 1 lap to go. They're going to lead him down. And it looks like Chris is saying the cars are getting more sucked up in the draft this time after the last update. So that'll be interesting to see if that comes into play. As we heard a couple guys talking about, and we've seen guys do quite often in this series, is hang out back, stay safe for a long time. You can get way back, and you can get about a half a second back in these cars and still suck back up at any given time. So we'll see if we see that in the feature, if some of these guys maybe stay way off the back for 25, 30 laps and then suck their way up to the front. And green flag is out. Michael Whiting leads them down. Mason Neal currently in second, and Mason is already charging up, closing the gap on him and starting to look to the outside already. Brian Mansfield's going to take advantage of that. He is dropping to the inside. He's going to block Mason Neal coming back down. And here comes Superman Norman Chan. Already got a huge, we see that increased aero efficiency there as Norman Chan gets a huge run down the back straightaway. And they are almost 4 wide going through 3 and 4. Easy there, boys. That is some great driving by these 3. We're used to seeing these 3 side by side quite often, but that is still some skilled driving right there. And there comes the 5, Doug Thomas. He is now back up after being in the caution. He is back up there in the top 5. As we go down into 1 and 2, they're 3 wide, 2 deep. And looks like we have Michael Graynolds out there looking to possibly make it 4 wide. Gets around and gets a heck of a run to the outside. As we watch him come through at the... Oh, looks like Superman is in the wall. We've got a couple guys that checked up and spun trying to avoid being caught up in that. Caution did not come out. They cleared the track. And the 5 of Doug Thomas now moves into the 3rd position. Look at this. 1 lap to go. They are not stopping for anything. The white flag is out. And it looks like Michael Whiting is going to lead Doug Thomas, Matt Stewart around. But right now, any of these front 4 could win it. As they come through 3 and 4. Oh, we've got an accident. The 5 is into the... It looks like it will be Michael. Oh, wait a minute. The 5 is... Doug Thomas pulls off the win. The split was .001 seconds. That's almost a Gerald Poole level win right there. But that was a heck of a finish there at the end. Doug Thomas ran into some of those problems earlier, managed to pull it around and pull off a win. And we are in the feature now. Let's see who's going to be lining up first. Looks like the Dougs are up front. Looks like the 21 of Doug McLaughlin is up front. Doug Thomas will be on the outside. So the front row of Dougs will be cheering them on quite heartily tonight. The Chris Stanbridge in the 22, Michael Whiting in the 44. The second row, 5th and 6th, Danny Chandler, Matt Stewart. 7th and 8 is Tom Land and Brian Mansfield. Rounding out the top 10 is Gerald Thanos Poole and Michael Graynolds. And I did look this up last week, and there is actually proven that Thanos could not defeat Superman, by the way. James Belair is 11th. Mason Neal is 12th. Christopher Rawlings, Superman Norman Chan is back there in 14th. Lance Sponberg in 15th. And Belair, Edward Belair, will be starting in 16th. Just saying there in the chat, Chris Stanbridge is saying that there is a lot of Thomas Myers is saying that a lot of great draft manipulation. Yeah, they noticed that a lot at Dover, and it looks like that's going to come into play tonight as well here at Michigan. It looks like Doug McLaughlin might be getting an EOL to start the race. We'll have to find out. It looks like a couple of these guys are starting on pit road as well. Again, they did say they would be policing the race fairly closely tonight. It is a fun race, but it is for King of the SR8s. So they are. There's a lot of bragging rights for the next several weeks before they start their season back up. There are bragging rights on the line as who the King of the SR8s is. As they start to line up, coming down the back stretch, they are stacking up 2 by 2. It looks like Doug Thomas will be leading them down. But there is Iron Man, Chris Stanbridge. He is still in his Iron Man car, thankfully. So we will see. Looks like Doug McLaughlin is going to be starting from the back in the 21. And we'll see if he can move his way back up. This is going to be one heck of a show. Pace car is dropping in. Green flag will be in the air. Green flag is in the air. Doug McLaughlin, or Doug Thomas leads him down in that number 5 on the outside. Chris Stanbridge to the inside. Michael Whiting and Danny Chandler back there. And there is Gerald Thanos Poole, the third car back there. He is starting. Don't open up a hole. He'll come right into it. Looks like the number 91 was trying to move to the. That's Tom Land trying to move to the inside. Get that in. Oh, wow. The number 7, it makes a power move. That is Lance Sponberg. Lance started in 15th. He's going to come across the line about 3rd. He is not one we've seen in these recent races, but that is Lance Sponberg. Started 15th, scored in 2nd as they cross the start-finish line. He's going to be one to watch tonight. As they come out of turn 2, Gerald Thanos Poole back there. We're going to, when he comes back around out of 4, we're going to hop in his car. You can see what the draft looks like here. It looks like the number 91, Tom Land, dropped low. Coming down the back straightaway. Might be having some issues. As Gerald Thanos Poole pulls up on Christopher Ironman Stanbridge. Here they come across the start-finish line. And we will hop in the car with him. Sorry, we are in the car with Doug Thomas. As they come through 1 and 2. That outside line gets a bit of a run off the corner because the inside line is having to hold the car down. Looked like Gerald Poole had some problems on the inside line there. And here they come through 3 and 4. Now keep in mind this is a 2-mile track. They're doing a lap of it in 47 seconds. You will barely hear them lift as they come around. That is a lap of Michigan International Raceway and a Radical SR8 in 47 seconds. And let's see if we can find Gerald Thanos Poole. Looks like he's dropped back to about 12th. But he's still back there in the draft. And I've got to wonder, seeing Tom Land drop back, seeing Thanos drop back, I've got to wonder if they are back there trying to save a little bit of fuel. We saw it at Talladega last week that they let one person lead most of the race because they knew it was going to be a very tight fuel run. If they get one caution, then fuel savings out the window. But if they go green, which we've seen them do a couple of different times, and it looks like the 113 of Danny Chandler was scored as the leader last time by, but he's fallen back just a little bit. As the number 10 seems to have the bottom line locked up right now. As they come through 1 and 2, looks like it's showing Lance Sponberg in the 7 and 113 of Danny Chandler being 1 and 2 last time by. And look at this, folks. They are 2 by 2 most of the way back, and then you get some 3-wide racing back here. Does not look like Thanos is saving fuel much right now. He is way up high on the outside. Little bit close coming through 1 and 2. They're getting a little bit dicey after 7 laps. Excuse me. After 7 laps of racing, they are getting a little bit dicier than they normally would. We usually don't see this till about 5 or 10 laps to go, but these guys are already trying to push for that front position. As we see them 2 wide up front and 3 wide for 2 rows back. Mason Neal was looking to make it 3 wide, but fell back in line to that outside line back there. And I'm not 100% sure why. It is not scoring Chris Stanbridge right now. But as we see him coming around, coming out of turn 4, the bottom line looks like it is not the fastest, but it is where these cars can stay down. These cars have the downforce to hold that bottom line all the way around the track. But they need the drafting help to get around on the outside. These cars do get a lot of side draft though. One of the comments we've heard just about every week, but especially at Indy and prior to the race here tonight, is that the side draft is going to come into play in a big way tonight as Lance Sponberg seems to be pulling the lead. He was scored in the... Oh! Lance drifted up just a little bit there. Now the number 5 drifts up. That's Doug Thomas right behind him. Oh, we've got a wreck on the front stretch. Caution is out. We did see him doing a bit of beating and banging there. Looks like we had a car just come down a little bit and take off flipping down the front straightaway. Got up into... Looks like that is Tom Land, and I'm not sure who the other car involved was as he comes by. I believe that's Michael... No, there's not. Michael Reynolds was involved. There's Michael as he goes by. And it looks like Tom Land is pretty beat up. It looked like he just came down. Looks like that was the number 5 of Doug Thomas. Used to seeing Doug in a completely different paint scheme, so this is kind of throwing me off a little bit, but looks like he came down just a little bit, didn't know Doug was down there, and managed to turn him, and Michael Reynolds got caught up in that as well. Looks like Edward Belair, Doug McLaughlin, and Michael Whiting are now all on pit road. And Lance Sponberg in the number 7, he stays out and assumes the lead. There is the 113 of Danny Chandler running in second. Currently being scored in second. I'm not sure yet he is showing correctly. I'm not sure what happened to Chris Stanbridge, but we've got the 11 of Brian Mansfield back there. The 40... Excuse me, the 49 of Mason Neal. Can definitely pick his car out, but couldn't remember his number there for a minute. And of course behind them is Gerald Thanos Poole, and you never count Gerald out in a drafting situation. He is one of the guys that will work his way to the front. He'll actually sit back there quietly hiding out. You won't know what hit you until it did. And I can tell you that from experience at Coca-Cola Super Speedway. He beat me 3 wide at the line by .001 seconds. That was a close race. And he is a great competitor. All these guys that I've raced with, everybody I've talked to in these leagues, under the Outcast Independent League umbrella, these guys are a great bunch of guys to race with. A lot of fun to talk to, joke around with, great attitudes, and great sportsmanlike conduct from all of them. As we get the 1 lap to go, they will stack back up side by side. As they come down to complete, or they'll be starting lap 13. Looks like everybody's still out on the track. We've got Lance Sponberg up front with Danny Chandler, Brian Mansfield, Mason Neal, Gerald Poole round out the top 5. Christopher Rawlings, Superman Norman Chan, Matt Stewart, James Belair, and Michael Reynolds round out the top 10. So these guys, they have 3 fast repairs tonight. Looks like quite a few of them have had to use them already. And it looks like the back 5, Douglas McLaughlin, Mike Whiting, Edward Belair, Doug Thomas, and Tom Land, all pitted on that last pit stop. As we come down, Lance will take the green flag. Green flag is in the air. Lance gets a little bit of a jump. That allows Brian Mansfield, looks like that allows Danny Chandler to pull up right behind him. He's getting a little low coming through 1 and 2, but looks like they're going to make it stick. Mason Neal drops down to the low line, and we've got to move to the outside. Looks like that is the 113 of Danny Chandler there that moved to the outside. We've seen him making some moves already tonight. Looks like he sits back there and waits patiently for the perfect opportunity, then he pounces. As we said earlier, this should not come down to fuel strategy, but if it does, you got 5 guys back there in the back that have just been in the pits, got their tires and their fuel and their fast repairs, so the only ones I would really worry about on fuel is that number 7 car right now, and possibly Brian Mansfield. But we will see how this plays out. As that inside line just sticks down there, some of these guys on the outside trying to get connected and get a little bit of a run to the outside. Does not look like they, as we see somebody slipping back, that is Danny Chandler. He is falling back. Didn't look like he had any problems. He might be dropping back to save some fuel. He seems to still be up to speed, so I don't suspect it is any kind of problems with the car. He's dropped back there to about 9th, 10th place, back there with those guys that just pitted. Up front it is the 7, and there is Mason Neal sneaking into the picture. He is back in the bottom line, 2nd car in the bottom line. And of course there is Gerald Thanos Poole. On the outside, looks like we've got Brian Mansfield and Christopher Rawlings leading the charge on the outside. As we heard him say in pre-race, they do get quite a bit of momentum up off the corners on that outside line, but that inside line is the shortest way around the track, and these cars can hold that bottom line really, really well. Saw quite a bit of side drafting in the heats, in the 10-lap heats, but not seeing a whole lot of it. We saw a little bit of it early on in the race, people trying to get to the front to take the lead. And we've got a wreck on the front stretch. Looks like both of them were below the line. Superman Norman Chan was involved. Caution is out. Let's see what we got here. Looks like that is Doug Thomas and Norman. Looks like that is Superman Norman Chan there. As they come out of turn 4. And it looks like Norman just got a little too high. Clipped Doug's left rear and spun him up and caught up Michael Graynolds in the process. Looks like that is the second time Michael Graynolds has been caught up in an accident so far. And looks like he definitely is going to need that fast repair. He is blowing up as they come around. But currently still out front, it is Lance Sponberg, followed by Brian Mansfield and Mason Neal back there in third. Christopher Rawlings in fourth. Gerald Thanos Poole hiding out in the top 5, just being careful and being safe. Michael Whiting, Matt Stewart, James Belair, Danny Chandler, and Tom Land round out your top 10. And looks like we'll see about 3 or 4 cars on pit road. Doug Thomas is already on pit road. We should see Michael Graynolds on pit road, and Superman Norman Chan should be on pit road as well. Those were the 3 involved in the accident. As we are working our second caution in this feature, let's just go over some track stats again. This is a 2-mile D-shaped oval, just like the track in Fontana, California. However, Fontana is changing. 18-degree turns, 12-degree front straightaway, and a 5-degree banked back straightaway. So not a lot of banking to work with, as we saw at Dover. Sometimes banking is not the best thing for these little high downforce cars. It made it very easy for somebody to pull up under the rear wing of somebody else and get them loose and spin them without ever having touched them. Made for definitely some exciting racing. These SR8s, they do have a ton of downforce, literally. They are 1,435-pound cars. They have proven in the wind tunnels, that these cars generate enough downforce that they could drive upside down with a full fuel load and a driver in them. I would actually like to see that attempted. Top Gear drove a Ford Focus upside down, so I think these guys could do it too. And got to give a shout out once more. These guys, the 13, 14 series underneath the Outcast Independent League and the Mayhem League, they raised over $600 in the last couple of weeks for autism awareness and for the Action Network. That is for to help prevent veteran suicide and, of course, autism awareness, looking for a cure for autism. So hopefully that money that these guys raised will help these causes. These guys do a lot for their communities, and they're, like I said, just can't say enough good things. They're a great group of guys to race with. And in fact, I do believe we'll be having a little fun race a little bit later tonight. And we are getting the 1 to green. They are on lap 20, so they will restart with about 15 laps to go. And the best lap so far tonight has been a 45.8 second lap. That is a quite impressive lap when you consider the Cup cars are not that much faster here. And they've got easily 2 to 3 times more horsepower. But they also have 2 to 3 times as much weight. These cars are tricky to make a pass in. Gotta lay back and get a little bit of a run. So we'll see if some of these guys, you see a little bit of a gap forming throughout the field. Going to try and get up to speed as quickly as possible, get a bit of a run on the car in front of them and see if they can make some moves. But as pace car drops off, Lance Sponberg is going to lead us down to the green flag. Green is in the air. Lance Sponberg is gone. Brian Mansfield there on the outside. Here comes Mason Neal to the inside. He's going to try and take that second position away. As they come through turns 1 and 2. Looks like Lance got a little bit of enough of a run to... Oh, Mason Neal jumps to the outside, finds that gap, and gets a little bit of help there from Brian Mansfield with the drafting. Mason Neal moves into the lead. He might have enough room to drop down. Not quite yet. Still got Lance there to the inside. And look who is snuck up into third place. That is Gerald Thanos Poole in that blue car on the bottom line. Mason Neal still out there on the outside trying to get a run built up. He's got a little bit of help back there. Looks like Mason was scored in the lead last time by, so we'll see if he can continue to keep that nose out front when he crosses the start-finish line, because that is going to be all that matters on the last lap. But there is Gerald Poole right there with him. And you definitely, we heard in the pre-race interview, you definitely do not count Gerald Poole out in these cars or pretty much in anything. He is going to be there at the end, and he is going to be racing for the win. And it looks like Mason's going to get the run back to the outside. Now the question is, once he gets up there to the lead, will he drop down to that bottom line? We've seen him get almost to the point where he could drop down and take the lead on the inside, but he hasn't done it yet. Seems to get a bit of a run off of turn 4, and I guarantee you when we get down to the last few laps, he's going to be using that side draft in a big way. As they come across the start-finish line, it looks like Lance had the lead at the start-finish line by 1/100th of a second. 0.012 to be exact. And there is Gerald Poole. He's starting to look low, trying to find a hole in the armor of that number 7 car. And we're starting to see some of them trying to make a move on the outside, but it is not working up in that super high line. No side draft and no drafting help. Cars get up there and they seem to fall back. And there is the 13. It's Superman Norman Chan. Definitely somebody to watch for towards the end as well. And we don't want to count out any of these guys, really. You could throw a blanket over all of these cars. There's 15 cars still on track, including the 44 there of Michael Whiting. And I promise you, they are talking on the radio right now, trying to work together. Trying to get some help to get to the front. We are at 10 laps to go. The number 7 has been pretty dominant so far tonight, but we'll see if he can pull it off. If he can hold off the hard-charging Mason Neal. We've not seen Lance in many of these SR8 races. We'll see if he can still hold off some of the more experienced guys like Gerald Poole and Mason Neal there at the end. As they come around, it'll be 9 laps to go, and Gerald Poole's got a little bit of a gap. He's starting to look low. cannot get a run underneath, but he is sucked right up on the back bumper of the number 7. And the front 4 are 2 wide, and then you've got 3 and even 4 wide back there coming off turn 2. Now the question is, and put your guesses in the chat. Will they finish 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide, or will they be 5 wide when they cross the start-finish line? We saw 4 wide at Daytona. They could easily put these cars 5 wide on the front straightaway here. As they come across the start-finish line, we have 8 laps to go. And Superman Norman Chan in that 13, he is starting to charge back towards the front already. There's the number 91 of Tom Land as well. He has moved back up into the 5th position. But it is Mason Neal that has been leading most of these laps when they're from the outside. He looks like Lance led the last one, but Mason, since he got up there to the outside, he's led the better part of them. And looks like Gerald Poole looked to the inside, cannot go below the white line tonight. The white line rule is in effect tonight, so they cannot get down underneath there. He is just looking for any opening at all. He gets one little opening, he's going to go through it, and he'll move to the front. At number 7, Lance Spanberg is definitely going to have to hold that bottom line, and now looks like they've got a 3rd line forming out there by the wall. Looks like that is the 01 of Christopher Rawlings. He was trying to form a little bit of a 3rd line out there. Don't know if he's going to be able to pull it off and get the run. Oh, we've got him 3 wide on the front straightaway. Looks like that's a 44 of Michael Whiting making a power move to the outside. He's got the help from behind. He's going to be able to use that side draft off of those cars in front of him and to the side of him. Will he be able to pull up? We saw it in the first heat, I believe it was. They were able to run 3 wide, and the outside car would occasionally take that lead. You can see Michael just using every bit of side draft he can get off these guys. Mason Neal slips up just a little bit. Gives Michael quite a bit of draft there. Michael Whiting scored in 3rd. Mason Neal scored in 1st. There, 3 wide up front, 3 wide in the 2nd row, 3 wide in the 3rd row. 5 laps to go. As they come down the back straightaway, they are starting to get very dicey. And remember, these cars do move around a bit in the draft, so they are taking some huge risks here. But one of these guys wants to come across that start-finish line as the king of the SR8s. Who will it be tonight? Michael Whiting just proved he can charge to the front as he's getting a little bit of draft off the car in front, getting a little bit of draft off of Mason Neal, and manages to pull right back up alongside of him. Mason leaning out just a little bit. Coming down the back straightaway, they are still 3 wide all the way back, and we don't want to count with 4 laps to go. Look at this. Almost 4 wide coming through 3 and 4. You can see how close these guys are. They are not giving an inch. There is no space between these cars. There's the number 113 giving the 44 of Michael Whiting a push. That is Danny Chandler out there in the outside line. They've got the 01 back there helping them out. Christopher Rawlings back there, 3rd car on that outside line. And by being on that outside, oh, look at this, 4 wide on the back straightaway. 3 laps to go. Easy going into 3 and 4, boys. They all managed to hold it, but it is getting awfully dicey. Everybody's trying to get every inch they can, every bit of draft they can. And here comes Michael Whiting again. He's getting a run, getting a lot of draft. These guys, this middle line, as it pulls up, he can get a little bit of draft. And the 113 jumps to the outside. 2 laps to go. They do have 2 green-white checkers. Hopefully we won't need them. Once they take the white flag, whatever happens, happens. And is Mason Neal currently in the lead? Lance had it at the start-finish line, but Mason had a heck of a run coming out of turn 2. And they are now 4 wide. Yet again. One lap to go. White flag is in the air. They are 3 wide, 3, 4 deep. It is really getting hard to say. Oh, we've got a wreck on the back straightaway, or on the going into turn 1. Excuse me. No caution. They got what they got. This will be the race to the finish. Superman Norman Chan to the outside of Mason Neal. Manages to jump up in front of the 44, Michael Whiting. Has a little bit of a nose going into turn 3, but oh, another wreck right behind him. Looks like Michael Graynolds was caught up that time. As they come out of turn 4, it looks like the number 7, but no, Mason Neal makes a little bit of a run. Mason Neal is the king of the SR8s. By literally hundredths of a second, it is Mason Neal for the win. Get out there and celebrate that young man. There is the 49 of Mason Neal, current, new king of the SR8s. Congratulations to that young man. We'll see if we can pull him into the booth here in a moment as he spins out, doing a little celebration donut in the grass. Hey Mason, this is Doug in the booth. You got me? Might take him just a minute to get with us, but we'll see if we can talk to him as Tom Land is helping him celebrate in Victory Circle. Hey Mason, this is Doug in the booth. You got me? These guys are all going to drop in and help him celebrate.
Hey, got you, buddy.
Hey, you are king of the SR8, sir. How's it feel?
Fantastic, man. What did I tell you before that race? That outside line was going to be the decider.
That was. Did you get a little worried when that third outside line started coming in pretty strong?
Yeah, I saw Chris up there and Norm up there, and they were making it work, and I was getting a little bit worried.
Well, once you got outside of Lance, you were led probably 2/3 of the laps when you guys crossed the start-finish line as Thanos helps you guys celebrate. It looked like you had managed to work it to where you could have just a nose in front of Lance every lap.
Yep, it kind of depends on how much you want to work that wing, because you can side draft in these things much like a stock car, but it takes a lot of finesse.
Well, you definitely had the finesse tonight. Congratulations, sir.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, Doug.
Hey, no problem. That was our winner, Mason Neal. It looks like Gerald Poole. Thanos, you went and took a big hit on our winner there.
Well, yeah, we do that every once in a while. I thought, Snuck one. I thought I was going to be able to get Lance ahead of me.
It looked very, very close, and you had a run to the inside, but the white line rule was in effect tonight. I saw you get a run to the inside, and he just was not giving you an inch tonight.
No, I was waiting for that one little mistake that he might go out and maybe try to push Mason a little higher. But there towards the end, I think I was more concerned about just trying to get him shoved up into the lead for the win. But we missed it by what, 8 thousandths of a second. So uh, congratulations to Mason. Great race, Lance. Hey, we did what we could, and I'll take it. So you guys have a great evening. Thanks.
Thanks, Gerald. And looks like Lance has dropped into the chat as well. Hey, Lance, heck of a race. That was a really close finish, sir.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun. We went side by side for a long time.
Now, I was watching as you guys, once Mason got to the outside, you guys, he had probably more of the laps sled, but by like hundredths, if not thousandths of a second. Did you have anything for him to try and get that thousandth of a second you needed?
Well, I knew that lane was better because that was how I got the lead. I drove that lane for a while, and I nipped him at the line at the yellow, so that kind of gave me the bottom. So I knew that lane would nip it at the line, but if I tried to go a little wide, I could push him out, but there wasn't really anything I could do.
Well, you managed to hold off Gerald, and that was impressive because he got a run more than once.
He said he was trying to push me across, but
Well, a couple of times he was ducking low. Thankfully, you had the white line ruler. I think he might have got around you once or twice, but you definitely put on a heck of a show tonight, sir.
yeah, I came from way in the back. I don't know, somehow in that third turn, I went up the middle, and I was like 15th on the start.
Yeah, we actually managed to catch some of that. Looked at you on the restart. You were sitting back at 15th, and a few seconds later, here you were up in second. It was quite a move through the field.
It was just one run down the back and one corner, and somehow I caught the draft off of the both outside and inside and shot up the middle.
Well, that was, even though Mason is the king of the SR8s, you definitely earned a title tonight as well.
Well, that's my first one, so I'll take it.
That is awesome. Well, congratulations, sir. Go celebrate.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our winner, and Gerald Poole, who came in third, and Lance Sponberg finished second. And his just a heck of a show tonight. I am breathless. That was a great race tonight by everybody in this Outcast Independent League SR8 series. And like I said, definitely check these guys out. Huge thanks for the things that they do as a group for charity and having us on board to call the race. This fun race tonight was definitely every bit of fun, so big shout out to them. Everybody here and everybody at Outcast Independent League, thank you all so much for tuning in. This has been a great night, and we really appreciate you watching. Hope everybody has a wonderful evening and a Merry Christmas. Have a great night.